Good to see you, Jim. Another beautiful week.
How are you?
How many calories are in the chocolate milkshake, Colin?
I'm not positive yet. I would the one that I just made recently. I think around 250.
Okay. You said the other one was like 300. You said that before, around 300.
It could, yeah, 250 and 300 is probably the spot there. We'll have a process.
Calories don't matter, just for whoever wants to ask that question.
Which one did it make last time?
It was the coffee one.
Calories don't exist.
You're right.
The Serenity and something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other one. I only remember the Serenity.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Tim doesn't count calories either.
Larry, I think what already starts on the double.
He says
Awesome plan.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
long day.
Yeah. I'm here all day. Thursday.
Oh, sorry. See how that works. Okay, that's nice, fantastic. Excellent.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, everyone settle down.
How are you?
I do have pens, actually.
Yeah, your lungs.
Wonderful donations that they are.
Oh yeah.
Borrow.
You know,
Let's try both.
the kindest and lightest heart nature people say that all the time. And then we walk out from just the same.
Yeah, we're.
Anybody else need a pen?
But the rest of the
Yeah, I just.
Actually, just-
I can't mix up.
Oh, actually,
They're
yeah.
all the same.
Then you probably have that because we don't have our phone right itself.
Oh, yeah, if you want the counter, I have.
Oh, perfect. Well, there you
I'm
go.
going with that one.
Yeah, that's a great one too.
Yeah, okay.
That you have to, you
Yeah.
have to brew for quite a while?
Yeah. I just made-
Yes. That's the one.
Oh,
The vitality.
Oh, you're in here, right?
Yourself.
Spending money somewhere?
Well, no, I want all this stuff at home. I gotta have it all.
Yes.
Post file.
Remember brain cells?
Oh, yeah.
This is from the chemist. That's 10 times stronger though.
And is he still working full time?
Yeah. But this is something
Clean it.
that's working.
Well, no, this
She's
is,
not happy about it.
this is not spring.
Not happy about what?
Been working with other people.
Good.
She wants that.
Do they still have it to where this is one of those you're supposed to just figure out?
Yeah. I feel with your policy, you can send me stuff a little cheap.
Yes.
One broke in the box. She's so good. She sent this with no padding.
Really?
Too.
Hmm.
Yeah. So been about a year for settling around.
Yeah. That's my next, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, they ship 3 glass bottles with no cap. It's
I'm glad they got out of plastic finally.
yeah, and she's way cheaper. All the sprays are like $70 for anything. She's got like 10 of them.
Send me a list. Send me
I
a
know.
list. There's no way I would play ball before, but send me a list.
I know. Yep. No, this is this lady is here, so this is basically
Welcome.
Our documents for.
Did you just steal flowers?
Out of my own garden.
Do you mind if I eat one?
No. It's a little bitter, but I ate it.
And absorb in, and one lady that kind of had a performer.
Woo!
Why would you like this?
So this is her.
It's like a beautiful lung thing. Most people would actually take a cough drop versus actually just chew lavender flower. Really good for nasal congestion. It actually has a sleep function when you get lindenol into the body, which is really good relaxant.
Just pick.
Barely tastes like anything.
Eat too much, you're gonna use restroom pretty
It's like
pretty
tastes like
heavily
water.
for a while. No, I mean like you'd have to eat
Oh, a lot.
a bunch. Like a little, yeah, like not like
The
salad.
Lavender Festival, they put it in sugar.
Sugar,
they put it
tea.
in lemonade,
Everything. And I have a really good recipe I put up last week.
And then I-
Yeah, but I'll marry it after you get the crab.
Oh, you know,
Exactly right.
wrong one.
No, I eat roses all the time. That's my favorite. Oh, that's so delicious. But again, very, very sacred
Thank you so
flower.
much.
The hips, everybody knows the vitamin C concentration in the hips is decent. It's not great, but it's there. And you can, like I say, the petal just has this unique flavor. Have a great night, buddy. And for me, it's you can, no, well, you got mint?
No, you smell it.
Basil?
You know, yeah. Oops,
Oh,
is it That's what I do.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of good mozzarella cheese. Oh, yeah, basil's awesome. Did you plant that yourself, or did it just
Yeah.
spring up? Oh.
Yeah, I planted it and it's came back
Just
more.
keeps coming back.
It's like 4 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Smells delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Get some. Enjoy it. All right, everybody. Let's. We've got a lot of stuff, and I already know I'm not going to get through it all. So I'm just preempting that right now. Thank you. Especially for the hiccup. So I always like this class because I think it's funny. I don't sleep, and yet I totally work with so many people in order to try to help them sleep better. And I think it's funny because it's actually a game of efficiency more so than it really is a comfy bed. But I really do like to know the answer to this question. I think it's kind of funny is like, does it, thank you, what other stuff we got in there? Bring out the good stuff, Nancy, whenever you want to. The funny thing here is a lot of people have forgotten, had aren't even in connection to their sleep well enough in order to know, like, that answer to that question. That is, what would you give to actually have a good night's sleep? I mean, it's such an interesting concept. And I know people who literally try everything, the pharmaceutical solutions, they'll try crazy therapies, they'll do a ton of different things to their body, and a lot of times not know the simplest, most basic ways of actually enhancing their sleep function. And also, I think this is unique, that if you're a person who struggles with sleep, you never give yourself the credit or the capabilities of actually going in the next day and trying to nap it out and really allow it in your body. So today's going to be a little bit harsh for those people who've done a lot of silly things in order to try to find sleep. So don't take me for anything more than just a person trying to help you learn. But I'm really big about not being in the zone of pharmaceutical sleep aids. There's two main reasons for that. One is they don't help. That's the biggest issue. Two is they shut down typically other body functions that make the problem worse. And that's what bothers me more. Yes, you can knock yourself out, but knocking yourself out isn't sleeping. It's actually a very different process. Klonopin, Ambien, Xanax, whatever it is that people are using, Lunesta, I don't even know anymore. There's just so many of these things. They are even if they are non-habit forming, if your brain and your body actually says, that's the thing that helps me sleep, that's a habit. I mean, that's the funny part about it, is that we have the habit of sleeping. So anything that helps get you there is habit forming. And if that's the way you want it to go, I want it to be as helpful as possible. So like all weeks, we're going to breathe a little bit. We'll talk more about how breathing actually has a huge effect on the human body and being able to sleep, and why a lot of people shallow breathe. Do you need your pen? Of course, you're the one who invited the party. We'll get into some details on that. And I find it one of these places where everyone for some reason leaves this class and they go home, and maybe I just talk about it long enough to where they're like, I had the best sleep ever. And then 2 days later, like, I don't know what happened, but that was great. Maybe it's just the whole fact of Thursdays and me speaking actually gets you to that nice, calm place. I don't know. But I love the fact we're going to learn some great details, and we're going to see where this goes from here. But as we do every week, we'll breathe first, and then we'll go on with the rest of it. So I would like for you all to join me. You guys know how this works. For anybody who's following online, it's definitely something where I want you to actually breathe through. The diaphragm is really important in this. So please, please, please try to activate the muscles below the rib cage and be able to pull air in and open up the actual stomach. You should have this nice proud thing down here full of air, and then shove everything back down and try to push it as far away as you can into the back of your spine to get all that air out. So be happy if you have that nice round place there in front to be able to breathe correctly. So if you follow along with me, everybody online, 7 seconds of breath in. Nice big full lungs for 2 seconds, and then 8 seconds of breath out. All the way down to where nothing's left, and then 7 seconds of breath in. Be greedy for 2 seconds on the air. There you go. And then 8 seconds of breath out. All the way down to nothing. And then just normal breathing for the next 30 seconds as we just try to forget all the stupid stuff that happened the last 5 days. And I don't know. If you guys are concerned about the elections, you're not going to be able to breathe or think functionally in this class at all. So we need to forget that too. It's hot. I don't even know, weather issues. Just breathing. Be happy. Fantastic. All right. So this is a very unique and amazing process that I want people to understand. Currently speaking, here on the west coast of California, we are sitting at a place in a town called Murrieta, and the sun is just now touching the horizon and getting ready to pass below Now, in a couple weeks, they're going to really screw every single person up pretty heavy by shoving the clocks forward an hour, or is it back an hour? I don't even remember anymore. Back an hour. So all of a sudden, you're sitting here getting to this point in a week or two, an hour from now, on the way that you're supposed to live your life in order to help you not burn coal or lantern fluid, and I don't even know why we're still doing this type of stuff. They actually did put a bill to vote to do away with daylight savings times finally. And apparently someone thought, no, let's keep a tradition. That's so much more fun. There are more heart attacks that occur after daylight savings time than any other time of the year. And it is unique because it shakes up the diurnal cycle of the human being. And we're not meant to deal with that. So if you have to, vacation in Arizona next week, that way you won't have to deal with any time change. So you come back and you can try to balance that out a little bit better. But anyhow, good quality sleep. How many people here actually would put their hand up and say that they sleep really, really well? That's the one thing they do very well in life. Nobody! Awesome! Okay, I'm probably then the only one in the room. And I don't sleep much. So here's the crazy weird thing that we have to kind of understand about ourselves. We have now really been able to understand that yes, there are 2-hour sleep cycle people, and 4-hour sleep cycle people, and 8-hour sleep cycle people, and 12-hour sleep cycle people. That's okay. So you could be sitting in a 12-hour sleep cycle body, waking up to an alarm really early, totally not getting enough sleep, and wondering why you never feel like you get that fully rested system. You could be healing from inflammatory diseases, and your body actually needs to rest. I feel like the flu is actually the natural response to a person who can't stop, rest, relax, and sleep well, is you get the flu. Because guess what? For a couple weeks, that's all you can do is sleep. And it lets you recuperate. It actually teaches you that you need to do this. And if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to do it well, then you're trying to figure it out and get through the whole process. So if we're not sleeping well, does anyone have ideas as to why we maybe aren't sleeping well? Caffeine, okay, I like it. Stress, pain, okay, that stops a lot of people.
Out of rhythm.
Out of rhythm, I like that. Cycle rhythm, I like you say, that's very true. A lot of people are out of rhythm. We do a lot to really upset our sleep, and then we get mad at ourselves that we can't go to sleep. Yeah. And it's so sad because you're never going to get to sleep if you're mad at yourself for not being able to go to sleep. Anybody here actually insomnophobic, to where you get more afraid of the sleep hour and the idea it's going to be tough, so therefore you kind of try to avoid it? Yeah, that's an issue. Okay. That happens. Again, it's PTSD in a weird way because this isn't going to end well. I don't want to do this anymore. I beat myself up. I feel terrible. I never get good rest. You have all these things that are happening, and we really want you to start to say, okay, hold on. Maybe I can take a step back. Maybe I can start to control this a little bit better. I can start feeling stronger. And it's not that I always give my boys this whole attitude of 100%. We always try to do 100%. But even if you had, say, 2 nights a week where you slept really, really well, then that's a big improvement. Maybe it is the weekend where you start really focusing on your sleep patterns, since work is maybe not your friend when it comes to sleeping. Or your kids aren't your friends, so maybe the weekends are the wrong time in order for you to try to focus on your sleep. So we're going to learn some stuff. I really am excited to let people know. We mentioned stimulants, caffeine, but it's unique because a lot of our medicines even have a lot of stimulant material to them. A lot of people who are suffering of a headache take a couple of Excedrin and then need to take the Excedrin PM in order to actually shut off the Excedrin because the Excedrin had caffeine. Or they're a person who doesn't understand that their own adrenaline can be working against them. They could be very anxious and actually have a lot of adrenaline in their bloodstream, and they're not calming their body back down so they don't hit the pillow and go right to sleep like most people would. I see a lot of people who are very allergenic, and it is food allergies. It It can be environmental allergies that actually keep them from allowing their body to rest and relax. So they're fighting some internal issues with allergies and inflammation. So if you didn't check out our class a couple weeks ago about becoming allergic to allergies, that's a really great place to kind of think and understand. Because if you're a person who has allergenics and you're taking something like Claritin, it's got caffeine in it. That's how it works. It's how it goes in and shoves itself inside your bloodstream. So it's really funny to me when someone's like, oh yeah, I take Claritin, but I can't sleep, I don't understand. Yeah, you didn't realize there's actually some good caffeine in there. Then we see things that are actually just cellular irritants. And this is everything to me from the idea of dehydration is technically a cellular irritant. Anybody actually go to sleep well, but then maybe wake up quickly thereafter going to sleep? Like that's kind of their issue? Okay, so that's a unique place as well too. So technically, you readied the bed, you pulled the covers down, you thought everything was going to be just fine, then you laid there and you're like, okay, and you feel yourself dropping off, and then, oh crap, you remember, okay, I got to do such and such tomorrow. Or, like your body will jerk all of a sudden, you get a big restless leg bump, and you'll go, I have to fix this. And you don't know what's happening, or you get that 2 hours sleep that doesn't really feel like sleep, so you end up just going over, and then you wake back up in the morning, you're like, seriously, why did I do that? Ineffective. That's the thing that I want to kind of understand. And then I see a lot of people who have a lot of diuretics, and a lot of people who are waking themselves up and actually using the restroom, and their body's awake or very alert during that time, instead of being able just to wake up, urinate, go back to bed, and have that be a nice process. Certain things will help flush stuff out of your body, and your body's going to respond with you waking up completely instead of kind of staying in that little sleepy zone and then going right back to bed. So it's really interesting because there's a lot of things that you're probably doing, you didn't even think about it or didn't know, and that's keeping you from getting good quality sleep.
Like the lights from the electronics, whether they're blue, red, white, clear.
Yeah, I mean, it's all messing with your system. That's exactly right. Again, it's kind of funny, but I do love the therapy where you go camping for a week, and you actually spend 7 days waking up with the sun, going to sleep with the sun, and reprogramming your whole body to learn that cycle again. Very good sleep therapy. Especially if you got a nice home, a good RV, with a great bed in there. If you're sleeping on the ground, I don't know, maybe a little tough for some people. But there is something to the idea of taking down the electronic influences, and that's very true. People don't realize if you have a plugged-in TV in your bedroom, it's producing a frequency out through the screen that actually is affecting your brain and causing you to not sleep. Your cell phone is doing the same thing. So I usually tell people 15 feet away from your head is where you actually need to keep that cell phone. So that's a major relationship builder for getting back into a good space for understanding how we have to do this.
Would it unplug everything? Is that good?
Yeah, if it's unplugged from the wall and no longer receiving electronic signal, then it won't produce a frequency. So yes.
And cell phone closed, would that be good too?
Nope, that doesn't matter at all. It either has to be turned completely off or put into what they call airplane mode, where it's not sending receiving signals. So do not disturb, and the idea is that I know a lot of people who, just because the cell phone's there, can't stop thinking about the cell phone. And they'll don't realize that they're like, oh, maybe on Pinterest somebody just put up a new cookie recipe that I have to see right now. Or Facebook put a post up about a friend who lives on the East, whatever. There's a lot of interesting issues that go on with that too. So you check yourself in the actual mental game there on what's happening and see what you can do. So let me break some details down. So I love getting people into the understanding for why their biology is the way it is, and that way you can kind of start treating yourself in a much different way. Bless you. So your brain has waves, and the waves have a number or a relationship to you called frequencies. And it's unique because at least we were always told there's something called brain waves, or at least we got it a little bit, but a lot of people don't go very deep into the understanding here. So what I like for people to sort of to pull out of today is when you're walking around, for the most part, unless you're a zombie, you're in alpha beta frequency. Your body is in a stimulus stress response system, and you're adhering to the rules of the five senses, and you're seeing things happen, and you're trying to determine, is that a problem? Should I be scared? Should I go to work? Should I take the kids home? Should I do whatever? Should I feed myself? All these things are happening all day long. And throughout the entire day, you're building up a compound inside your head while your eyes are open called melatonin. And you're converting melanin and making a really amazing antioxidant called melatonin. As soon as you close your eyes, you have the possibility of dropping out of alpha beta and getting into beta theta. And in beta theta mode, technically this is where everybody would kind of have that whole thing of, oh, did I lock the front door? Is there pizza still out on the cabinet? Okay, wait, go. You still have a recollection or an understanding of the fact that there's a real world outside of you, but you're trying to forget all that. And theta really gives you this ability to kind of relax and really not be thinking as quickly anymore, but you're still contemplating. You're still, having this relationship. And you can be popping back and forth into alpha, waking up, looking at the clock, seeing, something go on, and it's keeping you away from really getting deeper than theta. And this is a lot of times what happens because rest and recovery finally occurs or begins at about the theta zone. So you can lay there in a recliner, TV on, nothing really happening, staying awake, and actually get into that zone, that body field where you're like, I'm resting. This is okay. I can do this for a couple hours. And that relationship will give you some capability to feel like you're rested. Once you slide completely into theta and you don't really have any of the thoughts or any of the actions, the ambulatory state of alpha occurring, then theta really allows the recovery system to finally decompress and defrag all of what's been going on, all the inputs, all of the material that you had. You start storing the memories that need to go into long term, forgetting all the important stuff like the best friend that you just ran into and like what your kid needs to do tomorrow for school or what's going on at such and such show. All the stuff that you're like, yeah, I would like to remember that, but I don't. We'll get into a class called Super Brain where we talk about the organization of brain systems. But in theta, you finally start separating things. You finally start processing. And you start recovering inside the human body. Because your eyes have been shut long enough and your brain waves have slowed down enough to where other things can happen. Detoxification inside your organs can happen. You can actually start moving your lymph more effectively. You're laying horizontal, so gravity's not having such a big impact on your body anymore. Welcome, welcome. John, look at you. Coming in and hanging out with class. This is awesome. Good to see you, sir. Nice to see you, Teresa.
You sit here, Tom, and I'll listen.
Welcome. So the relationship of understanding where our brains are when it comes to the system here, and you can follow along, is that in theta you can actually stay in theta for up to 5 hours. And never actually get into a delta zone brainwave, where you actually have recuperation occurring inside the body, and you're really allowing the system to get out of the world zone and into a lot of the internal zone. And so it's really unique because an inefficient body will spend 5, 6, 7 hours sometimes sleeping, quote unquote, and never get to the point of actual full relaxation, full brain shut off, world not existent, and that relationship is one where you have to understand if you don't get to that zone, you're always just in relaxation mode. You're never in that full recovery mode. You're never allowing for the true recuperation of the brain to occur, and that's the zone that I want people to understand. So resting is one thing. You can do that in alpha beta. Recovery occurs when you start to get to theta. True mental relaxation occurs when you're down in delta. Delta gives you the space to where now there's this really interesting little window that happens. So if you can imagine this, the idea is you're kind of working up here and your body's going through a lot of very interesting little waves, and this is alpha beta. And then once you close your eyes, you get this ability to drop down just a little bit, and you get to go down to 6, 7 hertz. And then if you wait just a little while longer, your body's being able to relax, you don't have cats, dogs, kids, whatever is occurring around you, then you stay into delta and you're down about 3 to 4 hertz. Then there's this little window of time that happens to where you get to what's called REM, rapid eye movement sleep, where technically speaking, the world doesn't even exist anymore and you're completely unconscious and nothing's really happening anymore. So it's really funny because you can have a really terrible, everybody work out with somebody who's really not good at it and it takes them like an hour and a half just to do a push-up and you're like, oh, and then they want to leave and you're like, wait, what happened? We've been here for so long, I didn't work anything out. Like, they're inefficient at doing this job. You have children who take 4 hours to do one worksheet of math or whatever. You go, no, you should do that in 15 minutes and then we should go do something else. It's inefficient because it's taking hours and hours and hours to drop yourself down to this tiny little window. When you're an infant and you're sleeping 16 hours on the average day, your window of time is about an hour, hour and a half of REM sleep. When you have full brain detachment from the world. Once you get to the point of about 25, you lose it and it goes down to about 25, 30 minutes. When you're up to about 55, it gets to be about 5 to 7 minutes. When you're above 75, it gets to where it's just a few seconds if you're lucky. If you're lucky. And that's because the brain just has so much more distraction, so much incapability of being efficient at the sleep cycle and allowing you to rest. So when you're laying down to bed tonight, you're like, okay, so Joe told me, technically, at the whole sleeping thing, I suck. Okay, I can deal with that. Now, what I want to do is I want to try to go through this process. And for me, years ago, the yellow notepad next to the bed was the only way I could even go to sleep for 2 to 3 days on and actually get to some rest. Because I had to write down all the thoughts, all the things that were kind of like concerns, worries, bothers, whatever it was, and finally say, okay, now that it's written down, I have to give myself the permission to go to sleep for a little bit and relax and calm. Now I can do that within 10 seconds before I go to sleep, and it's just a mental exercise. I don't need the yellow pad anymore. But for a lot of people, you're starting off in that sort of analog mode. You're really starting with a very simple way of, here are my thoughts, put them to the side, and go to sleep and relax. That REM window is the place where a lot of people, again, think that they're dreaming, and it's actually not true. Nothing's going on. You're completely out of this plane, and you're probably in someplace else that we don't even know how to explain yet. But then what's funny is a lot of people think, oh, I just woke up from a dream, right? And the dream was actually an hour and a half ago. But because it took you that much time to come out of that space of going, oh, I was thinking about stuff. It was a little bit bigger, a little different, trying to sort things out. The time that it took you to get back to that beta frequency is when you go, oh yeah, I thought of something an hour ago, and now I feel like though it happened 25 seconds. And it's so unique how time gets kind of bent around a little bit whenever we look at this whole process of understanding the body. So I really just want you to get it in this basic sort of system. Your brain has waves. The waves are affected by a lot of things that are happening surrounding you, internally. The stuff that we said that can keep you awake is having an effect. And it's what's keeping you from getting to that good relaxation, shut-off mode where you can finally not have to deal with what's happening inside this world. So here's what I've found. Years and years of working with major pharmaceutical addictions, major problematic solution systems for sleep. Most people are suffering from spinal malalignment, or technically speaking, your spine is not in the position that it needs to be for you to lay flat on a bed and actually feel comfortable anymore. So you have subluxations or impingements inside your spine that when you go to rest, then your body's just saying, nope, you gotta move, you gotta twist, you gotta put your leg up here, you gotta do this weird thing with a pillow, you gotta hit your person you're sleeping with 2 or 3 times before you finally maybe find that little zone where you're like, okay, I think if I hold that spot right there for the next hour and a half, I'll be perfectly fine. And this is a major issue because if that spine's keeping you awake, you can't run away from it. I mean, I don't know about you. I sleep with my wife in the bed, and I wish I could just detach the arm and shut it to the side and at least sleep on a flat body and be like, yeah, okay. We don't get that opportunity. We got to take care of the spine, though, because the spine's sending the signal, ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, and really what's funny is a lot of times it's saying that all day long. It's just when you finally lay down and you're not thinking about all the other stuff, then you feel it the most. Then you're like, yeah, I got this really crazy pain. What is this? It was there the whole day. You just distracted yourself, and now you're finally seeing it, and it's really coming up, and you're trying to decide how to get through it. The other thing is I really find a lot of people suffering from a lot of muscle distress, a lot of lactic acid buildup, a lot of cramping. So who here is the 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning, foot cramp, leg cramp, yeah, so if you're getting that relationship inside your body, you are definitively magnesium deficient. That's the mineral that we're missing. We'll talk a little more about it later. But that club of people is the part where your body's not had enough exposure to magnesium and the muscles are trying to relax, and it gets to a point where it says, oh, not enough magnesium, and it cramps. And you're technically looking at a serious issue. I know a lot of people where they'll get a cramp in their calf and it won't go away for a couple of days. That's how serious their cramping is inside their legs. So a lot of muscle stress can keep you in this issue. Here's one thing that I'm discovering more and more now, is there's a lot of cellular acids. And there's a lot of things inside our cells creating inflammation that when you lay down, it's a little itch here, or it's a little bit of a weird feeling in the back, or it's something in the stomach, or you didn't digest your food very efficiently. So you're laying there and you're feeling something not right. And it's so unique because you've got the sensation of get up, move, try to do something, change this, drink some water, do all these things, and try to get back to sleep. And you can't really walk away from your cells that are actually sending this signal of there's something wrong. There's an issue. There's acids inside the cells. I mentioned the EMFs, but that's one of those. I mean, it's not it's not even a funny joke. Just unplug, pull out, tear them down, whatever. Get rid of the TVs, and you'll literally see in a lot of times 14 days full transference of the sleep cycle. Because you just don't realize how your brain is picking up this tiny little frequency that's coming out of that TV being plugged into the wall, turned off or not.
In the bedroom.
In the bedroom, yes, very much so. And I've discovered that a lot of people here, who here knows how or what grounding is? Everyone heard what grounding is? Yeah, grounding. Okay. So because this experiment that we do as kids, or adults who love to do it to kids because we never grow up, we take the little balloon and we rub it on your head real quick, and then we pull your hair really high up off your head and go, that's the coolest thing ever! And we just think it's really funny. This is static electricity, and your body carries a ton of static electricity. It can carry, unless you properly ground. Unless you actually pull that static down out of your little body and all the water inside your body and into the earth, which loves to pull that material right straight in. And you can get grounding sheets. You can actually, if you're not the type of person like myself who loves just to walk around in my backyard for 20, 30 minutes before I go to sleep or before I start to rest, to really physically push that stuff out of my body, it's just as essential as urinating and excreting material from your body. Almost, it's just as essential. And you just don't have a signal, minus sometimes not sleeping, that tells you, yeah, you're carrying a lot of static and you need to get it out of your body. And that's one of those nice ways. So grounding sheets, grounding mats, or do it the really cheap and easy way. Take your shoes off and go outside and step on the dirt. And you'll ground out and then try to have that nice relationship.
Somebody told me that even when we shower, we ground ourselves.
You can, because one of the things that's actually put inside the plumbing of most houses now is to stop people from electrocuting themselves, is that the actual ring around the sink, the tub drain is grounded, just in case you go to throw the radio inside the bathtub and try to off yourself. So it's kind of funny. Most people don't know that, but that is true. A lot of tubs, if they're the stand-up tubs though, on the pedestal that's usually not the case. So, if your wife really wanted one of those, ask her intentions.
What about the shower and what about upstairs?
It depends on the house and the home builder and but a lot of times they will run a single piece of wire from whatever the furthest plumbing entrance is and try to ground the whole system. Just in case. It is a just in case thing.
I didn't know that.
It's really funny.
Our blankets are grounded.
The
The
blankets.
blankets we bought from Stefan.
Oh yeah,
Those
yeah.
are grown.
Oh, they have that little metal.
Yeah,
stuff.
It's
yeah.
silver wiring
Yeah.
inside the grounded sheets.
Well, we have it between the
Sheets.
top and the bottom mattress.
Direct contact,
Oh, really?
much better.
Uh,
Yeah, because your sweat has to come in contact with the sheet,
And
and
we have it all wrong.
so it's grounding the area surround you, and that's nice.
Because, okay, Stefan was a guy that was one of these guys that geo something and all this stuff, and he even had the bed right in the middle of the room,
Yep.
and he was in our house because John rented it to him, and he said there's something really bad in this corner,
Interesting.
and when we moved the bed away from the wall,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe the difference.
Yeah.
But when we moved it close to the wall, we couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
We could not sleep at all.
Yeah. No, it
It
happens.
was bizarre.
But yeah, grounded sheets do help.
yeah, they want.
And you can take them. You can make it to where the grounded sheet's still underneath the mattress, because it's between the mattress and the box spring. I'm guessing.
Yes, yes.
Right. And just roll it up to where it actually has it, because you would feel so much better if you just were able to touch your feet to it, just to put direct contact to it. So try that out. But yeah, grounded sheets are awesome. So yeah, so here's ways that we know people
Where
are.
would you purchase the ground sheets?
I can earthing.com is a website that I think still exists, or Amazon. If you
Yeah,
want
just put grounding sheets and
Yeah,
they come up.
they come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be, it had, like I say, I can purchase them, but it's really no different nowadays than people going out and finding themselves. So here's where I like the fact that these are places where we can start to make improvements. And then we see the whole idea of that you are in control of this. I don't know who here feels or thinks that technically the idea of sleeping is something that's outside of their control. It can happen. Like I say, there's probably some shy people who don't want to put their hand up either. But the idea is you are completely in control of this. You may not like the fact you have to take some responsibility and some blame for screwing it up for so long and being upset about it. But the idea is that as soon as you say, yeah, I can control this, and you start to reprogram your body and you reprogram some of these signals, then you can see better sleep start to come into your life. And that's a really amazing thing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, how come when I get really, really sleepy and tired, you can ask my husband, I'll be in front of the TV and I fall out like crazy.
Mhm.
I go to bed and I'm wide awake.
Of course.
But why? I mean, why is it that in front of the TV I get really tired and sleepy?
The TV
But I
actually
go to the
emits
bed and we don't have a
TV.
TV in the bedroom.
Yep.
I'm wide awake.
Because probably, truthfully, you should be doing something, but your relationship there, TV actually emits about a 53, 57 hertz frequency that hypnotizes and actually puts people to like trancey sleep systems. And it's been one of the major issues why they were against TVs in the very beginning was they knew eventually they would be hypnotizing people, and they do. So there's a lot in terms of how the colors come out of the TV. There's a lot in terms of the frequency, the sound volumes, the speech patterns. Everything is designed to really relax you. Because then when you see the commercial for McDonald's, you're like, I love McDonald's. Yes, I do. And that happens all the time. It's really, really scary. But yes, the TV has its own frequency. Now you can go to bed and on your YouTube, turn on your own frequency to relax yourself down and use that on the other side of the room and have that be something, or do like a Bose sound system with a sleep CD. And you can tone yourself down and actually have that be the same relationship. Going to bed and being awake, all that happened was as soon as you popped up, your body's like, okay, we're ready to move. And cortisol started getting, shoved into the bloodstream. And then you go to lay down again. You're like, wait, what happened? Seriously? And your body's just trying very hard to protect you. The funny thing is you should start the relationship of just going straight to bed and relaxing in the bed, breathing, maybe happy thoughts. I knew it was the reason why you brought John tonight. And that way you can actually see some benefit coming in, because it's just change your patterns a little bit and see if it has a big difference. If you're still just going straight to bed without falling asleep on the couch and having a horrible time, then we got to look at some of these other things and see where there's a relation. Because maybe your spine does hurt, and you go to lay down, you're like, ow, I don't want to be here, and the body just wants to get back up. And that's a lot easier sometimes. Very, very true. So we do it in class. I say it every week. The breath you have during the day sets you up for how you breathe at night. Anyone here on like a CPAP machine or assisted breathing machine? No one? Okay. A lot of people now have such shallow breathing patterns during the day that the moment they go to lay prone, their body literally almost isn't breathing at all. And we call that sleep apnea. And we choke ourselves because we have inflamed tonsils or inflamed adenoids. And the doctors are like, I know, let's cut those out. And they don't realize they're lymph nodes. And that causes more damage and more distress. And so it's really sad because we want to address these other types of body issues, but your breath is the pattern that actually sets you up for being able to breathe properly while you're sleeping. Breath when you're sleeping is about 4 to 6 breaths per minute. Now, if you think about it, when we're awake, when we're shallow breathing, we think we breathe probably about 15, 20, maybe 30 times a minute. But when we go to sleep, we get to that point where the body calms enough and the brain waves come down enough to where we can only breathe a few times, and that's perfectly okay for our system. Swimmers have a lot of relationship with this, and they understand this pretty well. If you're swimming in the ocean especially, they'll swim for a mile or two, and sometimes literally only be taking a breath a minute. And they're just, that's their pattern, and you'll watch them do it, and you'll go, that's really amazing that they have that much control. And that's a very common issue. We see that for people. But the breath pattern you have during the day sets you up for being able to get good quality sleep at night. If you're a person who has congestion, if you're a person who has any type of issue in the throat, if you're, again, lacking some of that magnesium, you're not going to breathe well. Those muscles aren't going to do their job. They're not going to do it in a relaxed state. When you stop not breathing, your body does one thing. Wakes you up and says you need to breathe, and we have that problem. So we really want to understand that's a major piece. The other thing is a lot of times we are dehydrated. So if you come into my office and step up on the body comp machine, I can test your hydration and actually give you a value to go home with and go, okay, I thought I was doing pretty good at 4 to 6 bottles of water a day, or 48 ounces, or 24, or 24 is pretty bad, 64 ounces or 84 ounces or whatever you've been doing, and you go, yeah, but you may not be hydrating yourselves, and your body's waking you up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, going, go get a drink of water. We need to work here. And you wake up, and a lot of times it's really hard to get back to sleep. It takes a couple hours to reprogram down to that nice theta zone, and you're frustrated, you don't know what to do. You turn on TV, you put on the iPhone, you do all these other things that kind of make it hard. The water patterns that you have can set you up for, and hands down, I think this was actually a great study done in the early portion, 2010, 2007 to 2010, 3-year study, I think is what it was. Women who drank an extra 2 glasses, so 12 ounces per glass, 24 ounces of water a day, fell asleep better than people who were on prescription drugs. And that was one of the most interesting, and I loved it when that study came out, because I was like, aha, yeah, just you needed some hydration. You didn't realize how dehydrated your body was. And then, as we talked before, sun's down now. Lights are on. Our body's freaking out. And we freak out until we finally say, okay, turn it all off and go to sleep. And as we add in the light to our eyes, our melatonin level is still trying to keep up and produce. You look outside, it's dark, you're supposed to be asleep. You're supposed to be at least trying to go to sleep. And yet, these lights will keep your brain thinking, no, produce more melatonin, and it takes a couple hours for a lot of times the melatonin levels to be released to the bloodstream before you really fall asleep. And when you probably watch TV, you turn the lights down, you try to get calm, you get into at least a comfortable position. You're doing all the right steps, but then you got to transfer, and your body wakes you up a little bit, and it sends you off to that other issue. So the melatonin cycle is one that once you know that you've disrupted it, it can take up to a month to correct, and that's a major issue. So if you're a person who has a lot of swing shift work, if you're waking up really early and then you're tired really early as well too, or you're staying awake a lot longer and you're only giving your body a few hours to try to get some good sleep, then you could be messing up that melatonin cycle, and it's a compounding effect. So it's not that you mess it up Monday through Friday and it's perfectly fine again come the next Monday. Each week, technically, a lot of times our work patterns and our life patterns are making it to where our melatonin is not functional, not doing its job. So melatonin is the big key piece to this when it comes to the hormones and the neurotransmitters that we need to have in order to get good quality sleep. So, like I do each week, I really enjoy the process of coming in here and saying, okay, but there are solutions. There's ways to fix this. You can get control on it. Your breath cycles, your hydration, your melatonin can be ways for you to focus on and get better sleep quality, aside from all your other health concerns, health and goals. I mean, that's one of those where pick a goal and focus on that goal. Get that one done. If sleep's the most important thing to you right now, then leave the waking up at 5 o'clock to go running 5 miles routine out until you have good quality sleep. And let yourself be actually healthful in one area that's very important to all the different aspects of the body before you jump in and do something different. So I like the process here we're going to go through. We're going to really say a few major reasons and start to give you some balance as to how and why to get your body into good functionality. And I hope that everyone takes some really good notes here to see exactly who they are, what they've been dealing with, why there's problems in their life, and what we can do to start making some changes and allow for better sleep function to occur. So, Shatavari, holy basil, ashwagandha. All stress balancing and hormone balancing, which can cause stress, herbs that allow your body to start to hit different cycles. Each one can be a little different. I like for people who are knowing that they're having adrenal exhaustion to start using holy basil, half a teaspoon in the morning, right when the sun comes up if they can, half a teaspoon of holy basil right at the sundown, and watch to see how their body changes after about a week or so. You're trying to reset the adrenal glands, your cortisol response, and your body's diurnal cycle, and try to give it a consistency and try to balance it that way. If you were to go on what's called a panchakarma and actually allow an Ayurvedic doctor to work with you, that's what they would do. They'd wake you up at sunrise, they'd give you a holy basil shot real quick, let you drink that in, let you have some tea to get the body moving, and then they would say, no, it's time for you to shut down and for you to go to sleep. Here's your holy basil. Try to gain some control on the body. Ashwagandha is a great way for your body to actually not get to that ultra excited zone. As an adaptogenic, it's a very good stress balancer. One of these things that's unique about the sleep that you can have is that if you waking up is stressful. I just let everybody know that. It's very shocking, it's very jarring. Hormone swing is huge in the morning. Electrochemical swing is huge in the morning. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens just to get you up. So your body's already in stress. And the idea is you just think about emails and phone calls and kids and it just starts spinning out of control there. So your body gets wrapped up in all this issue. If you take in some ashwagandha, you can go, that's okay, I'll deal with it. Breathe it out, who cares, try to balance. And the idea is you never get to that heightened point of almost panic or anxiety levels that can't be controlled. So if you start to not have such a high ceiling of what you'll deal with before you start to try to change it or balance it, then you can really start to see some better effects. So you never let your body get overstressed. So ashwagandha is a great thing. You can start off for a lot of people 3 times a day. Right when you wake up, you can mix it with your holy basil. You can take it in the middle of the day to just calm your body down a little bit. Take it before you go to sleep and allow your body to just relax. Ashwagandha is in the IQ blend. I know it's inside this tincture here. Ashwagandha, yep, of course. So the IQ blend has the material, and I think it might be in one of the other.
Is it like a tea or?
Yes, it can be. If you get ashwagandha by itself, then yeah, it'll be just like a tea, just like one of the powders that's here. Aha. Oh no.
I think it's just an IQ.
Just in the IQ now?
Yeah, you cleared something else and I think it's out.
That makes sense. So yes, so it's definitely one of those where ashwagandha has its benefits. The IQ blend, you can start just taking a dropper of that 3 times a day and see how your body stresses and see what can start to be a good balance for you.
No, take that with the rhodiola.
Rhodiola?
Yeah, can I be taking that at night?
Of course.
Oh.
Rhodiola for some people is a stimulant, so it depends. It could create energy. But just see how your body, it's an adaptogen as well too, so it can actually have a nice calming effect. And that's a definite benefit there. But also understand that for right now, if that's kind of like your only thing you're using, IQ blend, you might need to do it 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 times a day, depending on how you have balance in your life. And that's okay. You can, again, keep using these adaptogens and try to find and discover your functional dose for medicines that you're experiencing. There's not a lot of fear of this mentality of, oh, if I take one ibuprofen too many, I'm going to have a problem, or some sort of other, relationship. Now they should work together. There's other things, like you can mix ashwagandha with like the heavenly hot chocolate or the cacao mix. And cacao is very balancing, it's very stabilizing, very mood supporting. And it has this kind of great way of adding magnesium and just a little bit of a good stimulant, so you can kind of feel your body want to calm and want to relax. And so there's an interesting space here trying to work with these. But holy basil, morning, night, set up a new diurnal cycle. Ashwagandha, 3 times a day. Shatavari is really one of these other ones that I'd love for people to understand. This is asparagus root. So anybody who loves asparagus, but didn't understand they come from a rooted plant, it's kind of silly because, yeah, they have roots. Asparagus root is a great hormone balancer. We are suffering right now in this country from a tremendous level of estrogenation. And estrogen makes people not so happy. Sorry for everyone here who has their estrogen not in check right now. I told you I'd be making a lot of people upset today. But estrogen can make it to where irritations happen, mood levels swing. That's one of these major issues we see. And we know that we're experiencing this because we have a lot of people who are doing bioidentical hormones, who are trying to take birth control for mood support. They're having headaches, they're getting stomach aches, they're getting backaches. And a lot of them are because of different hormones. And their body's trying to stay in a much more balanced zone. So Shatavari is this really great go-to device in order for you to start learning the tools of being able to stay calm. And this is, even though it says Ultimate Woman's Tonic, it actually is one of those things where it still balances well for men. You may not need as much or as long, but if you're experiencing a lot of painful issues in the monthly cycle, if you're a guy who even has been diagnosed with something called gynecomastia, then you know you have too much estrogen. And that's something where we want to start to bring those levels down. Go get a blood test. If you're a guy who has no idea, go and check. Bless you. Because if you're hyperestrogenated, it's going to be really tough for you to find calm and relaxation and actually get your body to not be inflamed. And that's a major issue for a lot of people, is that you're hyperestrogenated. So Shatavari and Balance Tincture is the other one that really helps on that as well too. So I should mention that. Bless you. The Balance Tincture here has a really amazing blend of nettles and passion flower. And what this does is called anti-aromatase, and that means decreasing estrogens. So really good benefit if you're looking for both of those. We'll do the hormones class another time. This is mostly about sleep. So then I like the relationship that chaga and reishi mushroom can have, because chaga tea is, again, one of the key critical pieces, because I get a lot of people who go, yeah, I have trouble sleeping. I take melatonin and I'm fine. And I go, so technically you're using a hormone in order to control your body that's not your own. And you don't need to do that. You can build your own melatonin. But you need to have melanin, which sometimes is very tough in our latitude of being able to actually get your body back in a good function. So if you're not absorbing enough sun rays, sun's been doing a lot of stupid stuff these last 15 years, chaga at least can give you melanin so that you can start making more melatonin. That's one of the nice ways that it really supports sleep. Not only is it a great antioxidant, not only does it have tons of potassium, great magnesium, all these other really good nutrients that really help the body rest, relax, calm, fight infections, be more stable. But it really, the main thing here is it gives you melanin, which your body converts melatonin.
Is that the chaga tea or chaga?
Doesn't matter to me.
Oh.
Same thing. The reason it's dark liquid like that is because of the melanin. So we really want to understand. Now, what's great about reishi mushroom is that reishi, as an adaptogenic mushroom, just the same way, gives a ton of antioxidants, a lot of magnesium, a lot of zinc, a lot of things that balance the human body, calm inflammation, decrease immune stress, a lot of things towards balancing the human as well too. So these two, king of medicinal mushrooms, queen of medicinal mushrooms, they go together very, very effectively. Brew your chaga tea on the stove in a stove pot over, simmering it down as long as you can. Mine never leaves the stove. It just stays on the stove all day long and just simmers in warm water. add the reishi to your teacup of the chaga tea right before you drink it. This has already been extracted. So what's great about this is that you don't have to do the extraction process of boiling down the reishi the way you do the chaga in the teacup version. So boil this, add that. Teaspoon a day, if you're really trying to work on your sleep function, is really great. Right in that evening hour, a little bit of ashwagandha, a little bit of shatavari, a couple of weeks go by, you start calming, and everything starts feeling so much better. So I really love the fact that you can actually control this in a much better way and know some of these great things. Vitamin D, and again, even vitamin B, both of these are so critical. It's funny because vitamin B gives you energy if you're looking at B12, B1, B3. B6, on the other hand, actually helps you enhance your sleep function. And so the B complex is really critical to not only, again, use all your energy up during the day. You know why kids pass out, fall asleep to the point where you can literally carry them like rag dolls upstairs and they don't even wake up? It's because they actually used all of their energy during the day. So when they lay down, they go to sleep. Adults, on the other hand, have this thing where we're like, I'm not moving, but more than this. You know, where's my coffee cup? Like you're like on the computer and you're like this all day long, you know. So that's all the motion you're getting. That's all the movement you're allowing your body. And then you lay down and you're sitting there like Teresa saying, I'm wide awake. What's going on? Go run around the block like a little schnauzer for about 2 or 3 times. You'll come home and you'll go right to sleep. And that actually helps. It does help a lot. But you can support yourself with these good vitamin Ds. It's funny because I have discovered, or at least I think I know, that a lot of vitamin D deficient people will wake up, especially about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, if their liver's not stressed anymore, but their vitamin D is still low. And I think there's something in their gallbladder saying, you need more fats. Go get something with fat in it. I need more vitamin D. And that's one of these interesting relationships. Because I see a ton of people below 65 on their vitamin D level, can't sleep. Up above 65, sleep every night, never have a problem. And if I wouldn't, I just see it all the time. The Vitamin D Council knows that it's actually got a huge relationship to inflammatory stress and cellular regeneration and DNA production. But it's one of those where I would, love to know that for somebody who just maybe didn't understand. Yeah, I've got low vitamin D. I do everything else right. What's going on? Why isn't this working? That can be one of these major triggers. Your body's saying, hey, you're missing a key critical nutrient to getting your health back in order. Very, very important piece of this. Now, of course, I saved the best for last. Just make sure. 10 minutes. Okay. Try to get this done in 5 minutes. There is not another piece more critical to the puzzle for sleep than magnesium. I say it 5,000 times a year, probably. I don't even really know. It's close. It's probably not. I'm exaggerating, maybe by 2,000. But it's just so interesting because a lot of people, and especially the ones who start the process of adding magnesium through like the topical use, will do it twice a day, once a day if they're lucky. And then after 30 days, they're like, yeah, it didn't work. And they don't understand that they're looking at decades worth of deficiency. And that magnesium is such a critical nutrient, the body uses it in every single muscle. It uses it in all the way down the intestines to digest food. It uses it in every single hormone. It uses it to break apart every single anaerobic issue inside your cells to generate your energy. Magnesium is just so important. So when you're missing it, your body is trying to tell you, please go get some. Please find it. I get people who pop in the bathtub finally with the right levels of magnesium in the water and literally pass out because their body finally relaxes to the point where they're like, I don't need to go and find anything. Calgon finally takes me away. And we really do see a great relationship here for understanding how to do that. No, if you're going to do the tub, it requires a lot of salt, a lot of magnesium-rich salts. If you did that, like I said, I'm still trying to work with somebody on creating an actual magnesium tub. We're still working on it. Right now, the idea is Dead Sea salts, magnesium flake salt. Epsom salt is not always the best because it has sulfur in it, and sulfur can be very activating. Sulfur can wake you up. And so, you just got to watch to see how your body responds to certain things. But I think a lot of people underestimate their level of need for this. If you're just starting off, I'm not kidding, 15 to 20 times a day is what you should be using this as. And you might notice a difference in a couple months. if you're just doing the topicals. If you're not soaking the whole body in a big tub of magnesium water, or at least the feet very routinely, then you're really not allowing the body to exchange enough of the magnesium molecule that it needs to keep itself healthy. Everybody here, I know, has said this, I love it, but they've had experience, or they've experienced vacation healing, where they're down by the ocean, or they'll go to the ocean water just for rest and relaxation, and go, yeah, I sleep really, really well when I'm by the beach. I wonder why that happened. Because there's magnesium in the water. And you finally got your body fully immersed in it. You finally got to soak in a little bit. You really let yourself relax. Let alone if you finally turned your phone off and you finally did all that other stuff to clear your brain from keeping you awake. But there's a lot to the whole process of getting magnesium. There really is an issue being ultra-terrestrial, and it doesn't surprise me at all that most Europeans around the Mediterranean Sea have great lives, great rest, relaxation, nice easygoing attitude. I would pay to be Italian minus their government system. But so magnesium, very, very important piece, and I can't stress it enough.
You said on your feet, there's other places to apply it?
Any place where you can see your arteries or that you have skin.
But it burns when you shave your legs.
It does burn when you shave your legs. Now, granted, I don't know that from personal examination.
I've done that before.
But no, I've applied that for people who have shaven their legs, and they're like, yeah, it's not fun. But back to the legs, like I say, if you're not too scoring there, then that helps. But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, just again, I love the whole concept of behind the neck, low back, and the bottoms of the feet. Usually, you don't shave those parts. So,
Always burns more than.
well, it's going to irritate as long as you're deficient. And that's the funny thing as well, too. Who here has the problem of not wanting to hug the cactus? This is what I call not wanting to hug the cactus. It's going to hurt until you're not deficient anymore. So you have to be able to go up and give the cactus a hug. It's not fun hugging cactuses, but that's what you got to do. Once you finally get your levels up and you're really allowing magnesium to be a part of your life, then you will not have any burn anywhere you put it really at all, which is kind of interesting. The reason it itches, it burns, it does those funky things is because the muscles underneath your skin, the little tiny hair follicles are controlled by muscles, and they finally relax for a couple seconds, and your skin literally either goosebumps or has this weird sort of reaction. And that's one of those where you're feeling it, so you want to go and scratch your legs, your muscles are actually trying to relax and get all that out. Plus the chloride will detoxify sodium. So if you're sodium rich and you've got a lot of sodium stuff in your body, so if you're going to fast food places, you're going to pull the sodium out and that's going to have its own reaction as well too. But magnesium. I am so over on time and I totally knew I was going to go over. Do you want to know why I got the last two, or should we stop? Okay. So there's two reasons on the other two. Iodine is something we speak about so highly in the 5 Essentials and in the Healing Thyroid class and everything. The iodine is the controlling molecule for your thyroid. It's your thyroid that actually shuts off the organs and tells everything to calm down and go to sleep. So when you have hypothyroidism and you're wondering why you also have sleeplessness, they go together. Your thyroid controls everything, and it's what tells the certain parts of your body to do what they need to do. So when you're not sending the right signals, or your body feels like it's playing catch up, the idea is this is what happens to you when you have 5 minutes to get something done that's going to take an hour. You go crazy at the very last second in order to try to get as much of it done as you possibly can. And your body does that same thing too. You're putting it to sleep and it goes, but I have thousands of things that I need to... Oh, you already laid down. Okay. And it really is trying so hard to speed moving. So when you get good iodine levels back into the body, then your thyroid finally starts processing and you finally have a much better relationship with what you need to be doing during the day. So it doesn't require so much issue. And you can finally detoxify properly at night. Very, very critical.
Better to take it at night than it is.
No, because it's very energizing. And most people will stay awake for 3 or 4 days on day and night.
With the iodine, you're supposed to see how much you need by doing certain Guinness.
You can do the skin test.
Because I just what I'm saying is that because I don't sleep and I have thyroid that, do I need to up it? Do you sometimes need to up your?
Oh yeah, very much so.
So what's the skin test? I haven't heard that.
guys are making me late.
I'm sorry, I'm asking questions.
So the skin test, you can use this. It can produce a little bit of inaccurate results because it's got glycerin in it, and glycerin doesn't immediately absorb into the skin as effectively. But the area on your forearm in between those two veins, if you can't see your veins, it's somewhere right there just below the elbow joint. You take one drop and you smear the iodine on that spot. Try not to absorb it all with your hand, but just move it around a little bit in that area and then wait. And if it disappears within 48 hours, then you're iodine deficient. And it's a very easy way to test it. There's water-soluble iodine that's more accurate than the glycerinated one, but you can still use this and it'll tell you. If you're deficient, it'll suck right into the skin. You won't see it staining the skin anymore. Take more iodine. It's not going to give you a direct dosing level, but the idea is that you need more. So if you do the skin test, then you can at least go, I need more. Everybody has a different level, and it all depends on their own body. If you have like a lot of personal questions on healing your thyroid, come see me, because I can set the plan together, put you on a nice protocol, get it healed in a couple of years, and actually get you back to good health. But that's very critical in this process. Rice bran solubles. As much as I always use that for a lot of gut system function, in really a wonderful way that rice brans are very healthy is it has something called alpha-lipoic acid. It has something called CoQ10, coenzyme Q10. It's got a lot of glutathione. And all of those together de-stress the brain system. So if you're a person who doesn't sleep effectively very well and you're constantly not feeling good, brain foggy, then you need a lot of alpha-lipoic acid to detoxify what's peroxidase that forms on your brain. And so rice bran solubles can help take away that kind of very low, dull headache that a lot of people talk about when they're sleepless. They don't get a lot of good quality sleep. That can be a great solution to start off with, and people can really enjoy that. So I wanted to throw it in there. I knew I put way too much stuff on my list today. So I thank you for dealing with me. And I hope you have a great sleep tonight. Anybody who's interested in the actual, what I call the max, I call it two different names, ultra sleep or maximum rest. But there's a drink recipe that if I get your email, then I can send that drink recipe to you. That way you can kind of hear from today's class, all these things are great, and I can get you actually to practice using one particular recipe. And I'd love for people to come back in a week or two and be like, hey, this is helping. I'm actually getting quality sleep now. Everything we talked about tonight, like I say, if you have any questions about purchasing, feel free. 10% off on all items. I don't know how. We probably have more stuff in the back if you're wanting chocolate. That's usually the one that everybody wants. Everybody wants chocolate after tonight's class. And I can't blame them because it's the best.
Joseph, would the golden milk help with sleep?
It can on the inflammatory level, but I would get to a chiropractor, see if a massage therapist, and do some other things too. Because if golden milk puts you to sleep, well, the milk protein actually warm can help do that as well too. So different peptides that are in there, depending on what type of milk you're using. But yes, if you're dropping inflammation and finding sleep easier, then there's more than likely muscle constriction, spinal issues, or other things that are going on, versus using one of the actual sleep remedies where you're just working with the neurotransmitters and the hormones of sleep. But yes, people can start a regimen of doing golden milk and be like, I sleep fantastic now. It's because they're finally cutting their inflammation down, and that's it. That's a nice benefit.
On the magnesium, you say that if you have more sodium, it makes it more itchy.
Correct. You'll pull more sodium out.
And I heard the other day, because I just took a sleep class also, they said that we only heal in our sleep. We don't heal while we're
We don't heal very well. The level of healing is very minuscule, but all cells are always trying to regenerate damage and stress, even during the day. It's just they're not very good at it because they're very distracted. So when we sleep finally, we do get to a much more recuperative and regenerative capability, and that's mostly delta. Yeah. Thank you. Well, I hope that you guys can get some great rest. leave your email if you're looking for the recipe. You can just tear off the bottom sheet of your paper, or I can take a list of those up here if you're looking for that, and then we can go from there. If you have more questions, need more personal things brought up or answered, feel free to contact my office, and we will get you scheduled on the calendar in order to start your process. It's always so much fun to get through this. And it's usually not as hard as you think it is. How you been, John? What's going on? You still working in San Diego?
He wants to get the
Which place?
Long Beach.
Oh, sorry. Are you in the airport job?
Sorry.
I'm the train.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one that wants
Jim and Rancho.
Oh,
Well, I'll have to order.
oh, because Trish said
I
you
have
have
some.
some.
Okay, I'll bring some then. Can you come to my office tomorrow?
Yeah.
I can put like 4 ounces together for you, 8 ounces, we should do for a couple weeks. Yeah, we've got another kilo coming in, so, yeah, we can get.
20, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's a red.
Yes. I like more of the reds and the whites. My wife likes a lot of the green, and it's really hard to
I'll just get mine.
but it's good that the rest of the she'll wake up really well, but she'll want to go to bed.
Yeah, like the rest.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to find me at brilliancenutrition@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the class and the information that was here this evening. And if you have any more you'd like to book, send me an email. I'd love to give a talk or a lecture at your group, your particular issue, and we'd like to keep the good message going. Thank you so much. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, I'll send it over.
Oh, this,
I think they have it in here, doesn't it?
Thank you.
I think so. Robert, this, man. This is
He doesn't want to drink from
That's
your
class I've
thing.
done.
Well, this says ashwagandha in it.
There is inside that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but this is brand new. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of a nice
Okay,
one.
so he has that in there. I'm still gonna take this one,
Mhm.
just so he can.
Use that through the day.
Yeah.
If you're at work.
We do this all day.
I have mushroom.
I'll see you guys.
Yeah,
Good night.
Good night,
Let
Robert.
me know about Sharon, because if they'll put her on silver, or she could start doing
You don't have
Magnesium, my herbal stuff.
it's a fantastic immune stabilizer. And it's modulating, so
It's
she's
over
in
there on
such a weird
Winchester.
spot with the fact that she can't make her immune system ultra strong, and she can't let it get worse, so even the other thing I would start looking into is life therapy. And my person is the first because that's actually using electricity to go through the body and zap all those bastards and make it to where
Really? I've never had one
she's
something
not
like
every week.
passion
The process and how to do it.
Right.
I love passion fruit.
Because the systems are, the cheapest ones I think are $800. Might be able to cover my insurance, but I don't know. But at least then she'd be able to control her viral levels and use electricity for it.
All right, I'll let her know.
So if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay, thank you, Justin.
Thank you, buddy.
Are you buying some of this stuff?
Perfect.
And here's Pam's back.
Yay!
Yeah.
I know. Careful, people. Spin. Yep, you ready to hear it back? You did a great job.
Yes, I wanted him to hear the sweet thing.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you.
No.
I can't remember your grades. They come in the section.
Yeah.
I can't remember everybody. I think we should have named that.
I should get my name badge. I agree.
We all, no, we should have.
You guys want name badges? I can bring little stickers. I have them for my boys when my boys go places.
Oh, yeah.
So that way they have their little names on it.
Well, that's good, that's smart.
Lavender. Nancy brought it.
Yeah, they smell lavender.
They were easy.
Awesome.
I've never done it.
Yeah, they bake with it and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
The Lavender Festival out in Fallbrook, yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
I went to it once by accident. It was really nice.
First of all, we didn't have a meeting.
Everything was lavender.
Oh, it's crazy what the, I
It
mean,
was crazy.
all types of breads and cakes and cookies and awesome things, lavender jellies, I mean, oh, so good.
I know. I was like, you're kidding. And they're like, no, we couldn't have lavender.
Everybody does, yeah.
This is, and I went to, I couldn't get the memo.